Welcome back, guys. It is the last set of the night. This is CALLOUS Invitational 3, Round 2, but this one, unlike the two previous sets, is a lower bracket match. This is an elimination match. The loser of this set will be out of the tournament. So we have on the bottom, CyberOdin playing on the alt, I Love You, Jesus. And on the top, we have Fear. Odin lost to Asta, and Fear lost to Posse G, respectively, in order to get here. And that's a tough road for Odin, who has to go through little brother Asta and now big brother Fear in order to stay in this tournament. That's pretty tough. We'll see if he can manage to do that. Here is game one in the best of three. CyberOdin on the bottom with a Coon, Fear on the top with a T-Tower. Coon obviously with the advantage in that particular 1v1. And he immediately goes for Hydro Pump, which was aimed at the T-Tower, but Blissy's going to take it pretty well, 22%. Skarm comes in, gets immediately not only Thunderbolted, but Thunderbolt crit. So nice piece of hacks for Fear early on. That's going to make the Skarm much less effective than it otherwise could have been. And Blissey again just going to go straight Thunderbolt to try to prevent spikes from ever coming down. That's going to prompt Odin to go to his own Blissey here. Bolt Beam Bliss from Fear, possibly a Calm Mind variant. And Skarm comes in again. Soft Boiled? I'm not sure why he went for soft boiled there. I almost wonder if that's a misclick. I mean, what could the other Bliss have possibly done that would have prompted a soft boiled there? That's a very strange play. I really wonder if that was just a straight misclick. But nevertheless, we end up with Bliss on Bliss. Very puzzled by the soft boiled there. Thunderbolt, critical hit, and Toxic finally puts a clock on the Fear Blissey, so that is not going to be able to just sit in there forever and ever. Ice Beam. And, well, that was a soft-boiled turn I would have understood, but he's not going to get the chance because the freeze occurs from the Ice Beam. Natural Cure out, T-Tar, and Odin's going to stay in. Focus Punch coming down. He'll thaw now via Natural Cure, but something has to eat a big Focus Punch, and that's got to be a Choice Bander doing that much damage, 76%. He pulls back at this point, thinking that Coon was going to attack to prevent the Focus Punch, but instead he goes to Skarm. He's just trying to cure that thing up very slowly via lefties, and of course Protect can give him more lefties, so Skarm back up to 57%. At this point, he decides it's worth it to eat a Thunderbolt to get Spikes down, and there is lair number 1. Spikes number 2, and again, just a curious soft-boiled. I don't know if that is not wanting to waste PP on one of the more offensive moves, or playing around like Drill Peck or whatever to keep him out of follow-up Dougie range, but those are very conservative soft-boileds. And he missed the chance on killing the Skarm there, which he would have had otherwise. If he had just Thunderbolted, it would have been dead. So it's going to be an obvious soft-boiled here from Blissey. Fear has that Choice Band Tar here, so that's a very dangerous poke in this situation. However, Odin going to outpredict Fear and get Skarm in on the Earthquake, which he's locked in on. So that's going to allow a third layer of spikes and force a switch from Fear. The switch ends up being his own Skarm that was previously unrevealed, and Gengar comes in to threaten that. That's also going to go Focus Punch, probably trying to catch the Bliss on the way in, but instead it gets protected against. The surprise is now known, and Fear is not going to fall for that now. He's going to Whirlwind. That's going to drag out Dougie that was previously unrevealed. And he goes straight back to Gengar. Lair number 2 of Spikes comes down. I recognize this team for Odin. The way that I know this team to be, it is Last Poke Claydol, but perhaps he has a different idea as to what it should be. Protect and Thunderbolt respectively. Now it's an Ice Punch. Lucky Freeze here. Skarm is going to be frozen. See if he stays in, tries to thaw. Focus Punch. Skarm going to take it on the chin, but he will not thaw out. However, the Focus Punch only doing about a fourth, so Skarm can take a few more of these. Swampert coming in. Thunderbolt there is aimed at the Skarm. It's going to blank on the ground-type Swampert. Hypnosis swing and a miss, so full set now revealed. 60-40, that would have been huge to hit that Hypnosis against what looks to be an Endeavor Pert. Ice Punch pops the sub. Surf 57% here. See if Odin wants to gamble on Hypnosis again. He does, and it will not go his way, and Surf is going to take out the Gengar. Last Poke is a spinner, but it's not the Claydol that I thought it would be. It is Starmie. And he gets the rapid spin off here, but in exchange for that, Fear is going to get behind his substitute here, and he's going to eat his Salak Berry. He's still slower than Starmie, however. Ice Beam and Endeavor, respectively. Starmie is low, but Starmie can kill Swampert here, and Fear is going to let that happen. So we've got ourselves a 5-5, and the best follow-up he has is the Frozen Scarm. That's really unusual. I don't understand what the point of that was. Did he do that just strictly to find out if the Starmie has Thunderbolt or not? Weird play. I don't get that play at all from Fear. I don't see the point. But the Bliss did get paralyzed by Thunderbolt. There's Whirlwind after Soft Boiled, and that's going to drag out the Frozen Scarm, which is one of the best things, if not the best thing it could have dragged out, because Scarm does not threaten the other Scarm, and it gives Fear the opportunity to thaw. But he does not thaw, and he gets out of the way. There's Calm Mind for Coon. Still would not live a Thunderbolt plus the Sand here, so he's got to be careful. And he's just going to go for Hydro Pump. He's going to land a 65% crit, and Fear gets a Soft Boiled off, almost like he knew that crit was coming. Scarm and Soft Boiled respectively. See what they both want to do here. There's not a lot for Scarm to do, since he's already got those spikes going on. Bliss on Bliss action here. T-Tar coming in, stepping on spikes. And there's an S-Toss. So T-Tar's relatively low, but it's very threatening here. We know it as Choice Band. Focus Punch. And Odin does not have the balls to stay in and try to break that. And he's going to lose his Coon because of it, but it will be a quick trade. Dugtrio with the revenge kill sends us to a 4-4 situation. Fear still refusing to reveal either of his last two pokes. And Skarmory is still refusing to thaw. Starmie we know has Thunderbolt. The question is, does he ever recover? And he's not even going to try to stay in and fight the Bliss that he knows is coming in. We end up with Bliss on Bliss here. Fear knows that there's a Dougie on the other side, so it's very important for him, if he values his Bliss, which he should given that Starmie, to keep his Bliss out of range of the Dugtrio. Soft Boiled and S-Toss respectively. This is a go-nowhere matchup for Fear. He has to switch at some point as the Toxic whittles down. He switches now. Here's Gengar. Comes in for free on S-Toss. See if it's a Gengar that can actually threaten this Blissey, whether it's Wow Taunt, whether it's Boom. No, they both have Hypnogar, and Hypnosis is 0 for 3 this game. 2 misses for Odin, 1 for Fear. Punishment is a 41% Ice Beam. However, the follow-up Hypnosis will connect for Fear. Goes Fire Punch, however, is the best thing he can do. And Bliss is going to wake an Ice Beam. Gengar going to be very low. I would like to see a Soft Boiled here. Do not fall for the possible Destiny Bond or something like that. Yeah, I hate that Ice Beam there. He could have just lost his Bliss to a D-Bond or something like that. I think Soft Boiled is much safer. Nevertheless, Fear's Blissey is pretty low. And here is Odin going for the kill with his Dugtrio, but he does not find his intended target. And the Scarm still refuses to thaw for Fear, even though it is back to 100%. Not for long, as he is Thunderbolted. And finally, he thaws out and gets a layer of spikes down. Thunderbolt, huge damage here. 55% as Scarm falls to just 3%. But he gets a Toxic off on the Starmie, who's getting low as well. Blissey switching into the spike. Fear not able to predict that and phase it out. It's a failed protect instead. He does get lefties, however. Here's layer number 2. Ice Beam takes out Scarm. We've got ourselves a 4-3 situation. Blissey comes in for Fear. He needs to hope that he's faster to get a Soft Boiled off and not die to the S-Toss. He doesn't even try it, however. He goes straight Ice Beam trying to catch the Dugtrio. And now we end up with Gengar on Blissey. 3-2 situation with Odin in the lead. Hidden Power Grass, again, probably trying to catch the Dugtrio. If that's the best thing he can do against the Blissey, he is in some trouble. Hidden Power Grass again. There's Ice Beam. Fear with 1 Pokemon only. Metagross against the 4 Pokemon from Odin. Agilagross. That actually has a really decent shot to win here. Wow. That's really well hidden and really well set up by Fear. That actually has a chance to win. And he gets the attack raise right when he needs it. I think Metagross is actually going to win here. Skarm can't do jack shit to it. He can't phase him out. It's the last poke. And there's a second attack raise with Meteor Mash. I think that the Metagross is actually going to back sweep. And wow, Odin agrees. He loses from a 4-1 point of advantage by a really well hidden, really well set up last Pokemon of Gilgross. It's going to come in at exactly the right time, and it's going to back sweep Odin. Odin must have thought that he had this game in the bag. He was up 4 Pokemon to 1, and the last poke was not even shown for Fear. But as it turns out, it was exactly the last Pokemon that Fear needed, and Agiligros is going to steal the game from Fear and give him the 1-0 lead. Odin now is 1 game from elimination and needs to win 2 in a row. Thumbs up if you liked it. Can't wait for Game 2. That is coming up next.